107.5 WGCI, the shot's number one for hip hop and R&B. We are the morning show with the destined legend Leon Rogers, the beautiful Kendra G.
Certified by Boots.
I'm the shortest damn man in Chicago. Kyle, we're in the building right now. We've been telling you guys on social media since yesterday and all morning long that 8 o'clock today was going to be a special day here at WGCI here in Chicago. And that moment is here. That moment has arrived, and we're here to say Chicago. There's been a lot of conversation going on, and today that conversation is going to get a lot of answers because the brother's here live in the flesh. You got to give it up. Chicago's very own Kanye West. Kanye West in the building. What's up, superhero brother?
I'm feeling great.
Number one, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. We thank you for taking the time out just to come and speak to us here at WGCI and be in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Because you are born and raised here. You represented the city so much.
Born in Atlanta, raised here.
Okay, no question, no question. And you know, a lot of people here have been wondering what's going on with you, and they want to hear from you directly. And we're glad to actually had an opportunity today to make that happen.
Yeah, you look good, Kanye.
Thank you very much.
Laser focus.
It's very good to see you in Chicago. I want to say this. I want to say this. We've been praying for your dad. You know, we heard about him dealing with prostate cancer right now. Is there any update? Because we're definitely praying for your family.
We brought him out to LA and got him the best doctors out there. So he's gonna be good.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
No question. You're here in Chicago. You wanted to talk to the people here in Chicago. You wanted to come home, and you have felt like, you know, you had some things that you wanted to get off your chest, or you wanted just to address the people. What is it that you wanted to get across? What was your reason specifically for wanting to make this particular trip?
Just to connect, you know, it's been a minute, and it was good to just land here and just see this, you know, just see the architecture, go to Harold's, connect with my friends, get in the studio, start chopping up, and just feel, you know, and see all that perspective, because you got to constantly, you know, travel and constantly expose yourself to different environments. You can't be in one environment too long and stuff, because it, like, you know, jade your opinion on things, you know?
Yeah, no question. Do you feel like being away from Chicago has changed your opinion so much that sometimes you need to come back and just touch base with your roots?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. What do you think has changed, and what particular things do you think you've been missing not being in Chicago?
Piece of puff with mild salt.
We're not gonna cut you off, bro. Yeah.
We're gonna give you the time.
It's a hard question because my mind, I don't really think about what I'm missing, but when the universe presents things that I have been missing, then I enjoy it at that time.
Okay.
And I don't sit and obsess over anything really. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the now.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so with that being said, in the now, like music now, let's talk about music. I know you have a intense passion for music. How do you feel about producers today, man? I feel like it's a Fruity Loops generation. I feel like a lot of creativity is gone. It's like heavy bass and boom, heavy bass. How do you feel about music right now, the state of hip-hop and where it's at as far as the production goes?
You know, I think that, you know, I don't think creativity is gone. I just think people are creating in a different way. You know, like when I was sampling, there was artists before me that was like, how you gonna sample? How you gonna sample? And now, you know, we're like, how you using all that bass? How you make 500 beats a day, you know?
I think some of the creativity is going in the delivery of raps, though. I feel like everybody's flow is mimicking, and I'm talking about cadence, is mimicking the Migos flow. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there was a time when people were trying to come up with more creative individual flows that stood out, and now everybody sees what works and they try to mimic that.
But what about Valet flow?
That's
like
nice.
a brand new flow.
Okay. I mean, but there are exceptions.
Yeah.
But when we look at music as a whole, and hip-hop in particular, there's a lot of people that are just following trends.
It always is like that. You'd always get like, you got Primo, and everybody makes beats like Primo. And you get Timbaland, everybody makes beats like Timbaland. You got the biggest Teddy Riley song ain't even a Teddy Riley song. And the biggest New Jack Swing song is not a Teddy Riley song.
What song is it?
Poison. There's a fake Teddy Riley song. You know what I'm saying? So it's...
You know, I want to take it back with a personal moment real quick. So I'm going to show you an old school picture. I was in Buffalo, New York. This is before College Dropout came out. You're like the first person I ever met in Chicago, and for me to be full circle, hosting the morning show on WGCI. And I remember that day meeting you. You came in the studio with Don C. He had on a Louis Vuitton book bag, and your album didn't even drop yet. And you told me in that interview you would be one of the biggest rappers of all time. You would change the game forever because you were known as a producer. And I always, just from afar, remember that and watched you. Like, you really did every single thing that you said you would do. Like, you really spoke every single moment. Your first album wasn't even out yet. You were still known as Kanye, the producer. You're about to prove yourself in the rap game. And it's just crazy that, you really did become it all. You really did.
You just got to know, you remove, there's certain cultures that don't use words like try, if, want. You just remove those, and, they stay in the church sometimes. Like, if you just claim, affirm what you want, the universe is going to bring it around you. You got to know. It's like the biggest thing is, people psych you out. Like, people say the devil's greatest trick is make you think you didn't exist. I think the devil's greatest trick is making you think you don't exist, that you're not who you are, that you don't have the position that you have in life. So, some people are meant to have certain positions in life. Like a leader is a glamorous position, but also, you get your head chopped off quick being a leader. But, when I was in preschool, I was leading. And sometimes leaders, are less detail oriented. So if you get into me like a facts game, that's not what leaders do. Leaders organize and understand talents and produce and put things together.
Right.
So with that being said, Kendra mentioned that you made all of these things come true. Now that you're in this position, how does it feel to be the founder and owner of a multi-billion-dollar company? Because you've made all of these things exist from, your days as
it feels it feels awesome. It's like I'm just excited by the new problems I deal with every day, just new challenges. Like I don't have a problem with problems. I got a problem with old problems. I'm not finna have the same problems over and over. Every day I got a new problem, and that's amazing.
Right.
It's like playing a video game or something in life, for real. You get all these new challenges. I spoke with 2 billionaires yesterday and was I didn't quite make the call with another one. I spoke with the founder of Lululemon, Chip. Was on text with the founder of Soul Cycle, and I spoke with the head of American Eagle. And some people giving me advice on, possible CEOs and COOs and people that could work with me and why they would be a good fit. They had this one guy, they said, well, he was up in Montreal, and he cursed a little bit too much. I said, he perfect for me. That's exactly what I need to work with.
Kanye West is hanging out with us in the studio, Chicago. Number one for hip hop and R&B. We are the morning show. The destined legend Leon Rogers, the beautiful Kendra G, the shortest damn man in Chicago, myself, Kyle, and the man right here, the man of the hour, of course. What was the thing you said? You had dragon blood?
Dragon energy, but
Dragon energy, Mr. Kanye West. Kanye West is in the studio.
I just want to talk about that song, just how special that. I ain't never heard nothing like that before, and there ain't no hi-hats in the song, and it's on radio.
Did he pull that? Did you pull that out of Jeremiah yourself, or he just came with that and you was like, I like that?
He played that for me. Actually,
okay.
Yeah, he made it happen.
I want to ask a question. Now, we was talking about billion-dollar company in the last break. Let's talk about it, man. Your shoes is killing the nation. You jump man, like you said you would. Mm-hmm. Speaking of jump man in NBA, when will we see Yeezys in the NBA? Like an NBA shoe, some cats in the NBA rocking Yeezys that's made specifically for basketball, though.
Definitely this year I was talking to Eric Lichty, the head of Adidas, about possibly, my Yeezy design team is me, Mark Minor, Stephen Smith, possibly taking, designing the entire Adidas basketball unit. Ooh. Period. So that's we in conversation with that right now. And I'm saying it out loud to put it into the unit.
Right. When you go about picking the athletes for it, because a lot of times, like how you got Jordan Brand, he picks his athletes out. Is Kanye looking for certain athletes to represent?
I'm gonna need Don C back to do that.
Okay.
And we're going,
No question. All right, so Kanye's hanging out with us in Chicago, and this is a great moment in time. And, you know, we just mentioned the fact that we get a chance to hear directly from you about some of the issues that people have been reading about, but haven't, you know, heard from you in particular. And I just want to be honest and open with you when we're having this dialogue and this conversation and say recently a lot of people have been a little disappointed in Kanye West from what they've been seeing or hearing here in Chicago. It's been a long time since people have said, yo, Kanye's here in the city, he's holding it down. And then we see other people from the city like Vic Mensa just gave out 7,000 pair of shoes, or Chance is doing social works and raised millions of dollars for the Chicago public schools. So there are people here in Chicago that feel like, what is Ye doing? Does Ye still have the city on his back?
We y'all about to see, about to light up. It's like I was in the studio with Vic and Chance the past couple of days, and you know, I remember when I was living in Chicago, I was doing beats for everybody, and you know, we were doing performances here. And I remember the day I called Leonard at GLC and told him I was going to move to New York, and he was very emotional about that. And then I moved to New York, and I was, you know, I wasn't the man in New York and stuff. I went from being the man in Chicago to just is a nigga pulling up at the bass line trying to play some beats and stuff. I wish I had to hit the
Right, that's the first.
We're gonna let it rock. But yeah, continue on.
Usually Kendra G say stuff like that.
But, you know, having to, you know, empty my cup and start from zero, basically, and sit there in baseline with everyone looking at me like, you know, who's this kid in the pink polo and Italian shoes and all that, and build up to that point. So you reach different, you know, stages in your life, you know. So the amount of work and time that it took for me to work on my family, for me to work on I don't say company, I say organization, I don't say brand, I say idea, to work on what my idea is with Yeezy, which is food, clothing, shelter, communication, exposure. I don't use the word education, exposure in tech, or so I said myself, my family, and my organization. You know, it was that same amount of time that it took. Like, I think I moved to New York for, you know, a good 3-4 years before my album finally came back. And then it was, you know, from the time I moved to New York to the time when Graduation came out, went head to head with 50, which was one of Chicago's proudest moments. That was about, I don't know, 7-8 years. So it took that time to really build up. So right now, you know, I'm building up where I'm in a position where, you know, we got a marketing fund from Adidas where we're saying we're focusing the entire fund into Chicago. We're focusing on, you know, fanning the flames of what's positive. Like, I was talking to GLC last night, he's talking about how, you know, murders are down by 28%, but people don't talk about that. They don't bring these type of positive things up. And a lot of times we're wired to always focus on the negative, but if we always focus on, you know, make it, or just how beautiful this city is, we could bring that up. But the main point I was making, I gave the idea of me moving to New York, is there were a lot of people disappointed that I moved to New York and it felt like I moved away to the city, but then I brought back the throne to the city, dead ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I brought everyone in Chicago favorite rapper of all time was Jay-Z. I brought him back like to 79th South Shore Drive. You know what I'm saying? So now I've been going out and finding architects, innovators from IDO and MIT. Like, you know, when I'll sit and go visit a prison and we talk about reform, you know, it's not just instantly being a, you know, celebrity and saying, oh, I visited, this is what we're gonna do, blah. It's like really sitting down with, we talk about MIT and IDO, these are like, you know, groups that really think about problem solving, because there's an opportunity for us to have, I think the word utopia is pretty extreme, but, you know, through love, design, and physics, like my friend Elon Musk would say, you know, I went and got some cool friends and stuff to help think about situations, because people be coming in and saying they ain't gonna help, but I don't help, I completely fix. we rather.
So you're saying you're using all this time and it's building up to a point right now where you are going to be able to put back into the city of Chicago on a community level? Is that, is that what we're getting to?
Y'all about to see.
Can I ask you one clarification question? Because we saw Rhymefest go on Twitter earlier this year, and he was asking Drake for money because he claimed that you weren't supporting Donda's house. And then we saw your wife, Kim Kardashian, Rhymefest go back and forth via Twitter. What can you say about your involvement in Donda House?
Well, for me, I gave Fest that job, you know, because he's my brother. And it's like, if someone has a foundation, like, put it like this. This is no knock to Fest, but if Virgil was head of Donda's house, would I have to do anything?
Virgil now we're saying is he runs is it Louis Vuitton? I want to say
Virgil Abloh is the head of Louis Vuitton.
Right
and
now.
Head of Off-White. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes you put your boys in a certain position, but that don't mean that they built to exactly run that. But Rhymefest, you know, it's like my wife is a gangster. I can't, you know, control what she's doing or saying, what she's feeling, or how she wants to protect our family or me. Because I'm the type of person where I love and forgive everybody. I got love, like, that's my brother for life. And we still work after the fact. You know, some of the bars on Cop Shot the Kid where I killed that verse on Nas album was some bars that Fest gave me. I did not do the bars, or like Drake wrote the Yikes chorus after those records came out, which sidebar I never heard either, because I don't do that energy right there. I don't do that because it's like, when I said a white man get paid off for all of that, you know what I'm saying? We get into these like Mandingo competitions, we fighting, killing each other, and somebody's still getting paid on it and talking to both of us on the phone. Like, I just talked to Drake and blah, blah, blah. And, yay, what's your opinion? Blah, blah, blah. But ain't nobody talking about going to his house, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they'll watch us, you know, kill each other, get at each other. But, you know, also, I know y'all going to ask me about the Drake thing. Well, I want to give you an opinion on that. Well, I thought, you know, the lack of sensitivity is the understanding of mental health. You know, when you see TMZ, you obviously see this person that, you know, got ambushed a little bit because, you know, when Van came from the other side and was asking me all these questions that Harvey couldn't ask me, and I'm getting asked questions from both sides, my energy ramped up, and I could ramp up easily also, you know, so in that type of environment, if it's not a positive, calm environment like this. And for me to have to go to Wyoming and decompress, you know, Drake is a person who loves Kanye West, loves everything I ever did. You're supposed to be protective of that person at all costs and make sure, like, bro, are you good? You know what I'm saying? It's like not about being selfish, like, oh, I wanted to be on the Lift Yourself beat and I wasn't on it, so now I'm mad at you, so now I'm sending, you know, purple demon emoji. I had to ask, what does this purple demon emoji mean? Right. And then when I found out what it meant, I started thinking about my family.
Right.
Because I don't play like that. We don't play like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't play rough. We don't play, I'm saying slap boxing, none of that. I got work to do out here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I got love for everybody, but I don't play like that. You know, I'm not doing no diss records. I'm not doing, I don't, rap is fine. It's fun for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
People said that. No, go ahead.
So are you saying that the reason why you didn't participate in that because, one, it could go there, it would go left for you, or is that just, you're just not trying to feed into that energy?
I'm not saying going left, because I ain't no gangster like that. I sit and, you know, go to prison and see everyone who's like, oh, this is what I did. And like, and they'll say, I feel you on TMZ. It was my choice. It was a choice that I made. Now I'm up here working for 8 cents a day, 8 cents a week.
Right.
You know, modern day slave labor, basically. So, you know, and rap, it's like, it's too fun and stuff. We friends, we all brothers and stuff like that. You get mad and then the audience wants to see, sometimes maybe it's just an idea of, you know, creating some entertainment or something for us to talk about, but it's really a distraction. You know, one of the most valuable things that we have as human beings is each other. You know, we here for like 100-year period, you know, together. And if we could get more wired to be helping each other and seeing what we could do, support and see what we could do to make the world better, and that's like our movement, then you know, and this is scary stuff that I'm talking about. So, you know, and I put the length of my life at risk by speaking this positively on a platform like this. because they want us to talk about I need my medication or I'm gonna shoot you or I'm gonna do this and blah blah. So people of influence, you know, it's actually better for me to sound crazy. So maybe even just to protect the whole thing, I should like spaz out.
Right. Yell at everybody.
Well,
Right.
this is actually a good point for us to take this break because we have to take this break. But we do want everybody to know that Kanye West is in the building, speaking openly and honestly with us today, and we appreciate that. So you're not going anywhere, right?
I'm not going anywhere. That's
Okay,
what I'm putting
all right.
to the universe.
All
I'm
right.
not going anywhere. So I'm going to talk this love, and there ain't going to be no get your hand out my pocket Malcolm X mode. I'm going to talk this love. Because remember, when Malcolm X and Martin was talking that love, that was the issue. But it ain't going to be the issue this time. And I need y'all to be on my side so I can get this work done.
Kanye West in the studio, Chicago, right here on the WGCI Morning Show with Leon Rogers, Kendrick G, myself, Kyle Santillian. We'll be right back. More with Kanye on the way.
WGCI Morning Show with Leon Rogers, Kendrick G, and Cal.
Doing that.
It's a New York show or an Atlanta show. This is Chicago show. Now let's go.
This is the Chicago show, man. Leon Rogers, Kendrick G, myself, Kyle, in the studio. If you're late, you got to understand, man, Kanye West is back in the city, and he's sitting right here with us at WGCI. This
late. Late registration.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Did that.
So look, we've been
I
having.
was thinking just my mood, like when we was talking about the Drake thing, it hits me in a really sensitive place because you like hang around people and they come to your house and be around your family and this and that, and then they get mad about a beat and then send you purple demon emojis. And it's like what I was saying earlier, it's like I don't play like that. I don't play in that place. I don't understand that. When I'm saying I'm not a gangster like that. What I'm saying is, it's like, look, it ain't no beef. Like, no, ain't nobody got no beef. Ain't nobody going to jail.
For anybody that just tuned in, you're saying that this is what happened between you and Drake.
Yeah, so ain't nobody going to jail. So it's like it's no in between, and I'm not calling nobody to do nothing and all that stuff. Because then I gotta owe that person for the rest of that. And I got all these people on my payroll and da 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 and all that stuff. And I don't do that. I make beats. And, you know, I'm here for a reason. Also, it's just like, you know, the universe is on my side. It's like I got a purpose. If something was meant to happen to me, it would have happened in a car accident. Something was meant to happen to me, it would have happened after, you know, whatever. You know, so I'm just saying that we all got love for Drake. We understand that he got upset about it. I feel that it was insensitive for him to in any way stress me out anyway after TMZ while I'm in Wyoming, healing, pulling all pieces together, working on my music. And you know, we'll reconcile that one day because we got work to do. And these voices is just too powerful.
So with Pusha T, did you admonish Pusha T for his stance that he took?
What does admonish mean?
I mean, well, you know, check him or say, since you say you don't play like that, like Pusha T was playing like that.
I'm not checking it. That man mentioned something with Pusha. I can't tell that man not to.
Okay.
Do what he gonna do.
Can you
know what I'm saying?
He
He his own man. You know what I'm saying?
Just don't bring you into it.
Just don't bring me into it because that's not what I do. I ain't got no time for this. I'm dealing with, you know, we dealing with a lot.
Right.
Dealing with, you know, rap.
Can I-
You know what I mean? Like.
Can you clear up this one thing though, because I guess some people the perception is where did Pusha T get the information for the diss song
Like,
to Drake?
Don't even pull me.
I'm not pulling you. That's why I'm asking
No, I'm not
you.
saying. I'm saying
Right.
two people.
Right.
Don't pull me into that type of conversation. That's what y'all don't even understand. It's like.
So you didn't get Pusha T the information?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But don't pull me into this conversation. Like, I'm Ye. I got major things to do other than be telling him some information about Drake. You know
feel
what I
like
mean?
that's gossipy.
Yeah. I don't sit around and do that. Like, I honestly don't care that much, in all honesty, bro.
Right.
Like, it's fine, but I just enjoy music, you know what I'm saying? And enjoy being with my family. I enjoy making music. That's not, my head's not even in that place.
No
Gotcha.
question.
Yeah.
Now you have been very vocal about a lot of things, and
Yes.
we do appreciate you being here today. But we do want to ask you the things that people are concerned about.
Say the pleasantries. Let's get to it.
No question. Let's get to it because a lot of us as black people were very upset with the MAGA hat and the stance that you took on Donald Trump. And we mentioned it off air earlier. You went on Jimmy Fallon and had the conversation. And
Hold on.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Did I say it wrong? I'm
Well,
sorry, Jimmy
wait a second.
Kimmel.
So what? Just don't confuse me with the questions. Do you want to just talk about the MAGA hat and the stance?
Here's what. Well, first I want to say.
Don't give me no compound thing. Make it simple for me, please.
Okay. Here's the question: how can you feel like you could support Donald Trump when he stands for so many things that are against black people in our struggle?
You know, we all know the fact that black people used to be Republican, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, liberals, right, left, red, blue, it's like a gang. It's like Bloods and Crips. You know, see, he said Bloods and Crips. He been into LA too long, you know.
We should said Jimmy's in the mall.
I'm not on no side. I got love for everybody. And I think wearing the hat was a statement of bravery and to not be in control and programmed, that as a people we have to have a monolithic thought, because if we have a monolithic thought we are easily controlled and could also possibly be easily eliminated. We have to think and voice our separate opinions, because if we want to talk about the TMZ statement, they cut our tongues. Now today, we can say all we want about social media, dissing somebody, did Ye get pushing this information, this, but I know black people that voted for Trump that was scared to say that they did out loud. That's some 1984 thought control, mind control, programming shit.
Yeah. Right.
So, because I've never voted in my life, in all honesty, and because my voice is so strong, I never even told people my opinion or my stance to after he won. I didn't want to influence it, but I have the right as an American to have my own opinion.
You do have that right.
Yeah.
I feel like
real quick, do you think wearing the hat, because your wife did a wonderful thing and she got Alice Johnson out of jail for meeting Donald Trump, do you think the hat and you wearing the hat assisted in that whole situation happening?
Yes. And what I want to say is, in my opinion, politicians are politicians. It's not one that's particularly better than the other. And I understand as black people, since we want to speak in the separation, because we're actually one race. The human race is actually one race. Race is a man-made construct that was invented a couple hundred years ago. I'm sure GLC can give me the exact history on that. I'm
But
sure
you're
inaccurate about the history of it. Mm-hmm. But we actually are one race as human beings. But if we want to do the division of our culture and our color of being black, I understand, that we had 8 years where we loved the idea of a black president, and now it seems like we took a step backwards to where we only saw, white presidents our entire life. And it's like we would rather have a female president than to see another white man be president again. And I understand and I feel that, but I just don't agree with it.
I think some people have the problem that they feel like your stance and your support of this particular person almost erases some of the pro-black struggle things that we've associated with you through your music in the past. Like I mentioned earlier when you were talking about the lyric where you said your grandfather took your mother to the sit-ins and that's in your blood, and that was representing the struggle. So I think a lot of people feel like if you represent the struggle, how could you possibly represent this man? Let's take away the politics and the red and the blue, but this particular man.
Let's act like America. Let's act like America is our girlfriend for a second. Trump being in office is like if you broke up with your girlfriend and she fell out with her girlfriend and you get on the phone with her and she lets you know everything that your girlfriend been doing the whole time. Lets you see this. Like you say, the detention center. That's something that was happening through a lot of different presidential eras, and now we're seeing it. And I'm a very transparent person. I like transparency. I like exposure. I want to be exposed to the information so I can make my decision. And I knew that this rogue personality was going to allow me to see and understand and allow my brothers to understand what we were dealing with. All the marches, people fighting, people standing up, people having a conversation about politics, our well-being. I knew that this was going to happen if he got into office. It's like, whether you like it or not, it could be a traumatic experience, it could be whatever it is, but sometimes you want to say, like, that's the whole funny thing is, we talk about get out, woke, but that flash of light or something.
Right.
That's a flash of light to us as an entire community to see things that we wasn't seeing when Obama was in office.
But
it's
that
like,
was still happening, you
that was still happening. It's like we as a collective wasn't woke.
Right. That's fair
Now
enough.
everybody is woke.
Okay, so I want to go back to your statement where you said we're all one race, the human race.
Yeah.
And I agree with that to an extent. But then why are some portions of the human race not treated like other portions of the human race?
Traditionally, the darker color of any culture has been, treated in a lower way, lower class. Now this could go, what you should do is have a follow-up with GLC tomorrow so he can give you the history and break down, because I don't get my information from books, I get my information from the spirit. I feel it. I go with my gut. I sit on, the telethon, I say, George Bush don't care, but I sit at that award show and say, oh, this is some bullshit. I'm about to go up and then I sit against all odds and say, I'm gonna put this hat on and let's see what happened now. The thing is, in high school, people was always trying to tell me what I could do, what I couldn't do. Can't wear the tight pants. Don't dress like the Gap. Wear these cross colors. You come to this, be in this gang. Don't be in this gang. Like everyone always my whole life been trying to tell me what to do, and I think by putting out new thoughts, and I'm not a historian, so I'm very loose with it. Say like, there's a lot of philosophers and innovators that, there's some people that got on a boat and found America, and there's some people that died, broke and lonely, and was still proven right after they passed away. So, I got a pretty good track record of being right about stuff. So let's see, because now we got a direct line. That's one of the things. I got a direct line to Adidas. I got a direct line to the president. And let's see what happens with it and how I apply that to the city, because I'm going to apply it.
Okay.
Let me say, we have to respect your decision, and you did explain why you support this man. The
thing is, I support everyone.
Okay.
That's the thing. I am in support. I support Bernie Sanders. I love Bernie Sanders.
Right.
I support Hillary.
Okay.
I love it. I support Obama. I cried when he won, and at the inauguration, my mom was passed. I said, "Mama, we did it." I like all these things that happen. It's like, and you take the people, black vocal Trump supporters. Two of the most black vocal Trump supporters are Mayweather and Kanye West. And I think we got a lot of things in common. We're self-made. And we don't move, act, and think like African Americans. We move and act and think like Africans in America. Because this is not programmed to be our country, but we can make it ours. Like Farrakhan said, it's to be bought. I just bought 300 acres for only $7 million. 300 acres. I'm finding another 1,000 acres right now to build our first school on our campus. I am buying America and making it mine, the land of the free.
Everybody's not in a position to make those purchases, though.
Yeah, we know that everyone is not in a position, but if I said a joke or gave you some information about Drake, we'd all be laughing about it and think that's cold. But if I say something to you about this is what I'm doing, and you can see, since people like to see people that are particularly of the same culture, because they act like we can't be inspired by nobody that's not our culture. I love Michael Jordan, but I'm more inspired by Steve Jobs. I connect more with Steve Jobs than I connect to Michael Jordan. You know how they do this like marketing? You ever watch a basketball game and it just be like a marketing? You know, you're like, man, that's really aimed towards. It's like patronizing.
Hip hop music,
hip hop
yeah.
marketing.
Yeah.
It's almost patronizing us.
I agree with that.
They think, but it'd be a white company, and then they hire
I agree with
people to speak directly to like, oh, we need this voice to sell this product of this old blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? It's like unprogrammed people.
Kanye, we're going to move on, but I do want to ask this direct, simple question because it was a question that Jimmy Kimmel asked on his show, and I saw you say on Twitter you weren't given the amount of time to properly answer it. And he used, you know, a famous quote that you said that George Bush doesn't care about black people. Mm-hmm. Do you feel as though Donald Trump cares about all people, black people included?
I feel that he cares about the way black people feel about him. And he would like for black people to like him like they did when he was cool and the rap songs and all this and stuff.
WWE.
And, yeah, and he will do the things that are necessary to make that happen, because he's got an ego like all the rest of us, and he wants to be the greatest president, and he knows that he can't be the greatest president without the acceptance of the black community. So it's something that he's going to work towards, but we're going to have to speak to him.
Yeah, because he's not doing a good
Yeah,
job.
we're going.
Well, let me go with you the next time you go to the White House.
Because he's not doing a good job.
I need to go with you to the White House, and I got a couple things I got to say.
Exactly, but at least now you can go.
Okay. Kanye West, everybody.
I won't ruin your relationship with the president.
When we come back, I want to ask you about. I'm about to sneak because I'm a sneakers head. Love the shoes and everything you're doing with them. I want to ask you a very important question. I feel a lot of shorties want to know the answer to.
But look at this. I'm so cold. I know that's y'all thinking. I'm like, man, this man is cold.
Kanye West hanging out with us in the WGCI Morning Show Chicago.
Yes.
Don't move. We'll be right back. All right, no question. We're back at it, man. It's the WGCI Morning Show with Leon Rogers, Kendra G, myself, Kyle. Kanye West is hanging out with us. If you've been missing it, man, you've been missing so much. We talked on so many subjects this morning, and we appreciate your time, brother. We're really getting to it today.
Can I just jump in? He answered the Jimmy Kimmel question, and you want to talk about that sometimes you need time to answer your questions, you said, correct?
Yeah, because when y'all ask me, like, do you think Trump cares about black people, I had to take some time to answer it. A lot of times, famous people get on these on-air situations, and they think it's like they gotta come up and blah blah. I sat with a media trainer. I sat with a media trainer after the slave comment, right? And at the end of the whole thing, I asked her. I said, "Did that comment affect you?" And she said, "No." And then my wife was looking at her like, "What?" And then she's like, "Oh, well, you know, it come about da, da, da." And it's like, "Oh, you just here getting paid to tell me how to talk like everybody else."
Right.
It didn't even affect you, and you don't. We need people here that care. You're like, I like to talk to people that's affected by the comment to get all of the perspective. So one of the things, you know, I had a perspective on it because, you know, we talk about people who we lack opportunities and, you know, education and exposure to, and I said, as radical as that felt or sounded at the time, I believe that it's good for everyone to see an unadulterated moment of someone that has had maximum exposure.
We partially had that conversation off air, so let's bring it back a little bit, Chicago. We're talking about Kanye West. You just mentioned the comment that you made on TMZ saying that slavery was a choice, and then
which wasn't the actual comment, but it was taken as that. So it doesn't matter.
Right. Okay.
I said 400 years. It sounds like a choice to me,
Gotcha.
to Kanye West. Not being a historian, like GLC is a historian, he'll break it down for you. I tell you, I gotta bring him up and he'll break down all this. To me, when I hear about anything of an entire group of powerful people being captive, being held captive for 400 years, it sounds like a choice to the spirit of Kanye West, which I think is aligned with the spirit of Harriet Tubman, which I think, and let me finish, which I think is aligned with the spirit of Nat Turner, which in my non-historical opinion, I feel that these are examples from the past of people who felt similar to that, even if it was worded incorrectly in the white man's tongue. Maybe I could have danced, or maybe I could have spoken Swahili and spoken the actual language, because even the fact that we're having to have this conversation in English is a form of slavery, because it's not
That's
even
not our language.
That's a
tongue.
fact.
It's not
That's
even
a
our
fact.
language,
Right.
bro. You know, so that feeling, that emotion, that ramped up feeling, that medium connection with spirituality that we got to witness on TV, you know, the fact that I could take that bullet and be like, oh, he's crazy, he's crazy. I'm going to just segue. I'm going to come back to slavery. I want to talk about the crazy thing for a second. Tom Cruise could hop out of a plane, onto a motorcycle, drive out of a window, do a flip onto a boat, right? And then go eat a bag of Cheetos. But if he jumps up and down on the couch on Oprah and says he loves his wife, then he's crazy. You know, it's all a program of perception, a moral compass, what is crazy, or the negative perception or the idea of crazy. Let me tell you about crazy, because I went to the hospital. I was diagnosed with being bipolar. I've went crazy. I am not crazy, but I definitely can go there if pushed in the right way. Now, I have ways to control it through medication. I have ways to control it through sleep. And the thing is, you know, I'm not against the medical, because I feel like I have the luxury version of mental health.
So you do have mental health issues?
Okay. Yes. I understand you did that too.
Just to clarify.
But let me clarify it more. We all have undiagnosed mental health issues. We've been placed into boxes, into cubicles, loud noises, financial circumstances, feeling less than yourself, you've seen 100 slave movies and taught that history about yourself, but there's no class telling us exactly how Magic Johnson became a billionaire. You go to the African American Museum and they start at the boats. They don't start at the pyramids.
With Bob Johnson.
You get what I'm saying? So we're all dealing with forms of mental health. But what I want to say is, you know, to be bipolar, the fact that I can show up to you like this, 5 months no medication, and speak to you like this is, you know, incredible, because other people that might be schizophrenic, they have to like wash themselves in meds. You know, the biggest the thing about being called crazy or considered crazy is the biggest stigma that has to be broken, and the biggest travesty is that you instantly get written off, like you don't know what you're talking about.
That's true.
Yeah,
But you might be the only one
answer
that knows what they're talking about, and everyone else might be actually programmed. Also, what I want to say to everyone right now, everyone listening, not only in Chicago, but I have never really approached or addressed the slavery comment fully, and it's not something for me to overly intellectualize, and you know, because this ain't nothing to be smart about. This is something about the fact that it hurt people's feelings in the way that I presented that piece of information.
I was ready to write you off.
I could present it in a way more calm way, this way, but as I said, I was ramped up. So I apologize. And that happens sometimes when people are, and I'm not blaming mental health, I'm just explaining mental health.
That's big, bro.
That if
Yeah,
you
it is.
That's
deal-
big.
if you deal with someone that's bipolar, that's ramped up, they might say something that's their truth or something that's how they feel in a way that's not gonna make you feel comfortable.
Gotcha.
Like that's too abrasive. So what I thought was really awesome about that is like, yeah, I could go on Charlemagne and be at the top of the 300 acres and describe my experience of like getting put in handcuffs and being brought to UCLA. But it's not till people got to see an actual moment of being ramped up and see the way it affected us as a community, as family members, because the slavery comment only affected my tribe, only affected my family as black people, only affected Chicago and the world like that. So, and it's only people who have people with mental health issues in their family that really deal with that know and understand what that is. But guess what? We be on the radio talking about how much money we don't got, or how much money we getting, how much we don't like the president, how much all the. But give me an example where someone in a position of power to Oprah, Obama, Trump, Kim Kardashian level power that's ever had a conversation this long and this open about dealing with mental health, because it's so stigmatized. And I believe that it's something, because it's not cool. You know, so it's not a cool thing.
Well, you got some
Wait, I wanna just-
DeMar DeRozan, guys like that ever step forward with their problems about depression and how they dealing with mental illness. I do feel like there are some people with power that have tried to speak on it. But you being Kanye West, it kind of holds a different little bit of weight. I will agree with that, because like I said, my mother was even upset about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm tripping on my mom was upset about something Kanye West said. So I do think it's big enough for you to apologize about it.
That
But
was.
I thought Valet didn't get on my album because I thought his mom might have been upset about that comment. Valet, why you ain't come to Wyoming? Why you ain't get on this album, bruh?
You know what? I think that I said this to you off the air. You know, I speak from a black woman's perspective. I'm African American. I do love the human race, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm about my people. And I feel like there's not too many people that in the African American race, when they speak, the whole world listens. You have that power. When you listen, you could tweet something and the whole world pays attention. So from my point of view, and this could be a selfish point of view, I always want you to speak for black people and in the betterment of black people.
One thing is like, I don't know if I properly apologize for how that slave comment made people feel. So I want to take this moment right now to say that I'm sorry for hurting. I'm sorry for the 1-2 effect of the MAGA hat into the slave comment. And I'm sorry for people who felt let down by that moment. And also I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to talk to you about what the way I was thinking and what I was going through and what led me, you know, to that. And I just appreciate you guys holding on to me as a family. And this just proves how much love, you know, and sometimes I think people don't feel the love when they say, I can still feel the love, because I come home to Chicago and I hear 3 Drake records, I don't hear a Ye record. So, you know, sometimes you don't, and I except for we got all mine now, but sometimes you don't feel the love because you're looking for it in certain, you're looking to get validated. You hear people negative comment on everything. It's these slides just too small. What's going on? Why? It's like, you know, it's just all so much negativity that, you know, in a relationship, maybe somebody will do something just to see if you still love them. And one thing that I got from the TMZ comment is it showed me how much black people love me and how much black people count on me and depend on me. And I appreciate that.
I'm glad you said that, because black people do count on you and they do appreciate you, but
and love me
and love you, absolutely. But you talked about people seeing the love, and I really just want to be open with you, man. And I feel like a lot of people felt like we lost you to the Kardashian family, and I don't know if I've ever heard you address that people feel like that. How do you feel about people feeling that way about you?
Well, actually, it's an extended, well, the Kardashians are an extended piece of my family and our family. I want to touch on something because, you know, you're saying comments, so I still want to touch on this and I want to touch on that.
Okay.
You said, I ain't gonna lie, I'm about my people. I have a suggestion, an adjustment to that statement. To just change the "my" to "our." If we could just change the "I" to "we."
But when I say my people, I see how black people are still not treated fairly in this country, and that hurts. And first and foremost, I received your apology so much that it almost brought tears to my eyes because as a black woman, that's what we miss from you, Kanye. Like, seriously. Like, I was really emotional this year with some of your actions just from a black perspective. So I really receive your apology, and I appreciate it because you are in a position that not everyone gets to be in. And like I said, when you speak, the whole world listens. And your voice is so powerful that you have the ability to make true changes that could affect the African American community. So I just appreciate your apology, and that is why I sit from this position and I say my people. I just feel that way. I didn't mean to cry. I really didn't mean to cry. But you're so important. God has blessed you with this ability that when you speak, change can happen. And I respect your viewpoint because maybe I'm not there that I respect when you said you're about the human race, and that is absolutely right. But as an African American woman, I see things that my people, black people, go through every single day. So I have to fight and speak for them. I just feel that way.
Can I have a hug?
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to cry. I swear I didn't mean to cry. I swear I didn't mean to cry. I didn't mean to get emotional. But I just wanted you to know, like, how it felt when you said that. And when you were apologizing, I felt as though you got it. And I humbly accept your apology, and I receive it. I really do receive it, and I appreciate it. I really do.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me see and feel this, because like when you be out and on TV, on social media, you never get this level of a connection or this level of a feeling of, you know, what my voice could really mean, because someone could come and say, well, you only stream this much, or this didn't sell, or this, that, and it makes you feel like your voice is not meaningful. Like, that's what I'm saying. That spirit, you know, if you love me and you riding, then let's feel the love and let's stick together at all times, because there's times where I think that people act out and do things because they're lacking the love and lacking the feeling and lacking the family, you know, environment.
So I speak from a black woman's perspective. I'm African American. I do love the human race, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm about my people. And I feel like there's not too many people that in the African American race, when they speak, the whole world listens. You have that power. When you listen, you could tweet something and the whole world pays attention. So from my point of view, and this could be a selfish point of view, I always want you to speak for black people and in the betterment of black people.
One thing is, like, I don't know if I properly apologize for how that slave comment made people feel. So I want to take this moment right now to say that I'm sorry for hurting. I'm sorry for the 1-2 effect of the MAGA hat into the slave comment. And I'm sorry for people who felt let down by that moment. And also, I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to talk to you about the way I was thinking and what I was going through and what led me to that. And I just appreciate you guys holding on to me as a family. And this just proves how much love, and sometimes I think people don't feel the love when they say, I can still feel the love, because I come home to Chicago and I hear 3 Drake records, I don't hear a Ye record. So, sometimes you don't, and except for we got All Mine now, but sometimes you don't feel the love because you're looking for it in certain, you're looking to get validated. You hear people negative comment on everything. It's these slides just too small. What's going on? Why? It's just all so much negativity that in a relationship, maybe somebody will do something just to see if you still love them. And one thing that I got from the TMZ comment is it showed me how much black people love me and how much black people count on me and depend on me. And I appreciate that.
I'm glad you said it, because black people do count on you and they do appreciate you. And
love me.
And love you, absolutely. But you talked about people seeing the love, and I really just want to be open with you, man. And I feel like a lot of people felt like we lost you to the Kardashian family. And I don't know if I've ever heard you address that people feel like that. How do you feel about people feeling that way about you?
Well, actually, it's an extended. The Kardashians are an extended piece of my family and our family. I want to touch on something because, you're saying comments, so I still want to touch on this and I want to touch on that.
Okay.
You said, I ain't gonna lie, I'm about my people. I have a suggestion, an adjustment to that statement. To just change the my to our. If we could just change the I to we.
Can I just say this because, and I respect that, but when I say my people, I see how black people are still not treated fairly in this country, and that hurts. And first and foremost, I received your apology so much that it almost brought tears to my eyes, because as a black woman, that's what we miss from you, Kanye. Like, seriously. Like, I was really emotional this year with some of your actions just from a black perspective. So I really receive your apology, and I appreciate it, because you are in a position that not everyone gets to be in. And like I said, when you speak, the whole world listens, and your voice is so powerful that you have the ability to make true changes that could affect the African American community. So I just appreciate your apology, and that is why I sit from this position and I say my people. I just feel that way. I didn't mean to cry. I really didn't mean to cry. But you're so important. God has blessed you with this ability that when you speak, change can happen. And I respect your viewpoint, because maybe I'm not there that. I respect when you said you're about the human race, and that is absolutely right. But as an African American woman, I see things that my people, black people, go through every single day, so I have to fight and speak for them. I just feel that way.
Kamala.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to cry. I swear I didn't mean to cry. I swear I didn't mean to cry. I didn't mean to get emotional. But I just wanted you to know, like, how it felt when you said that, and when you were apologizing. I felt as though you got it. And I humbly accept your apology, and I receive it. I really do receive it, and I appreciate it. I really do.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me see and feel this, because, like, when you be out and on TV, on social media, you never get this level of a connection or this level of a feeling of, what my voice could really mean, because someone could come and say, well, you only stream this much, or this didn't sell, or this, that, and it makes you feel like your voice is not meaningful. Like, that's what I'm saying. That spirit, if you love me, and you riding, if you love me and you riding, then let's feel the love and let's stick together at all times, because there's times where I think that people act out and do things because they're lacking the love and lacking the feeling and lacking the family, environment, like the need to be around the friends and the energy. Like, for instance, it's like Don C just is like not around as much, and the people that were around or starting to make money just didn't care about me as much as Don C did, because we like moving, like Kanye West is like an entity, like a money-making machine or something, and you get into that situation and you don't have people that are continuously looking out for your best interests at all costs and making sure, because I even had people that was with me at TMZ that could have stopped it. They could have stopped it. They could have said like, yo, this is going too far. Right. That's just allowing, these things to happen. So I believe that the downfall of Kanye West is directly related to Don C not being around.
Wow.
And because at the very beginning of my career, right when I was blowing up and Manop was managing me, because Manop manages me now again, and we rebuilding, what I can do, and it's a new, speaking third person, it's a new Kanye West that you're going to see that's going to be better because of this mental health situation. It's going to be better because of this TMZ situation, and Don is actually, he's icing it down right now because I just told him I need him to be there for me so shit like this don't happen to me, because it's
now I got to return the hug.
I think it's
that's what family's for. That's what family's for. And you came home to your family.
We talked early in this conversation, and I asked you a question, and I don't think at that time you might not have had the answer about what are you missing not being in Chicago, and I feel like this is the answer to that question. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about having the people that started with you, John Monopoly back with you, meeting with Don C, being with you in the beginning, we've seen GLC be critical of some of the things you're going through, but you told us today that you had conversations with him.
Right.
I'm glad to see that you're back here in Chicago and you're reconnecting with the people that were with you at the beginning of this career. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a beautiful thing.
One thing that we can learn from my wife, and the reason why she don't end up in UCLA, is because she has a family with her at all times in every situation. So it's all of them against Hollywood. So you gotta have that support system. I'm out here doing superhero acts on the daily, and that constant energy and that constant surrounding of people who are inspiring you, and it's like you need a village around you when you got someone who has so many responsibilities. Where I have a voice for the Black community, I got I'm producing 5 albums in a row, including my own album. I'm dealing with people trolling me. I'm dealing with, people, there's a lot of pressure. I'm pitted in competitions directly with Drake, competitions directly with Virgil, at the same damn time. Like the song, like at the same damn time. Like I'm literally gotta have the shoes popping to the Off-White Nike Louis Vuitton level. I gotta have a record popping to the Kiki level. I gotta have the and then I gotta
the
make
blackness
sure,
gets challenged.
Then I got my blackness getting challenged. It's like, am I talking black enough? Am I talking white enough? Am I representing enough inside a country that we got brought into? And then I still gotta get the sandals the right size.
must be a foul. You got a lot going on.
All right, well, let's do this, Kanye. We're going to continue the conversation with you, but for everybody listening right now, man, what would you just like to say? A real quick statement for everybody listening in Chicago that's appreciating you being so open with us this morning on WGCI.
What I'm saying is thank you for, like I'm saying, riding with me. And I need y'all as a city to just have my back. And I promise you, you're going to see a new Ye. You're going to feel the impact of the new relationships and the new ideas and the exposure that I've gathered is about to be applied now. And I appreciate y'all still letting me come up here and just talk to you about it.
That's dope. And I hope we see you here with that too.
In the city,
not just the stuff being implemented, but I think you being here brings hope to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So I hope we see you more of you too, brother.
Kanye West, man, WGCI.